Welcome! Records Roundup number 5 kicks off right now on the channel. Thank you all for joining me for it once again. I've got 7 records to show you today, 6 albums, and we'll start off with a single. A couple of these are mail openings. In fact, it's 2 different pieces of mail, but that's 5 of the records as they've all just arrived today in 2 packages. Right, enough of that boring shit. Let's get on with the good stuff, the music itself. And first is a single that I've been looking for quite some time, not obsessively, but just every so often I'd check Discogs to see if anyone had it in stock, and a seller in Armenia suddenly had this in stock, so this has taken quite a while to come, as things are taking a while from that part of Eastern Europe now. But it is a split single, actually. It's Pictureplane's Trance Doll, and then if we turn this front cover around, it's got another front cover. It's split with, I think that's BDRM PPL, or that could be BDRM People, I don't know, with Cyberpunk. I'm familiar with Trance Doll. That's a track on Pictureplane's first album, Dark Rift. Whether this is a different mix, because I've also got another version of this Trance Doll single, a double A side with New Minds, and I think that is a different mix from the album version. So whether this is the album version or a completely new mix, I'm not sure. As far as I'm aware, this is Pictureplane's very first physical release of any description. It's not even out on a proper record label list, whereas his debut album, which I think came out 2009, did come out on the wonderfully titled Love Pump Records. Or is it Love Pump United? Something like that. Not an awful lot to see. I've got a few singles like this from Pictureplane actually. It's very DIY, it's just basically someone folding up some card really. And we've also got one of these rather low-res inserts here, but I do like these. I like the kind of, it reminds me of sort of fanzines back in the day, just sort of like low-quality photocopying and stuff like that. It is just standard black vinyl, so not an awful lot to see. You've got your A side and your B side, but really happy to have that. And that kind of, I think, unless I've missed something obvious, I think that's my Pictureplane vinyl collection complete now. This one was a little bit inessential because, as I say, it not only is on his first album, or his first official album, it also got a reissue as a single as well a year or so afterwards. I'll be interested to listen to that, and it's not just a Pictureplane single. I don't really know about BDRM PPL. When I tried looking them up on Discogs, all that it says that it's 2 guys in an electronic duo from somewhere in the United States. If it's similar music to Pictureplane, I'll no doubt enjoy it. But there we are, all the way from Armenia. Took the best part of a month to get here, but it wasn't very expensive with postage and everything, probably a little bit over £20. There we are, Trance Doll by Pictureplane and Cyberpunk by the other lot. Next up, a purchase from Amazon. This was about the best price I saw it, brand new, anywhere. It just really fills a hole in the collection more than anything. I don't know if you're sick of seeing him yet on this channel. I certainly am not, because I think his music's fantastic. But you will have seen a box set unboxing from Matt Berry recently. This is his live album, Matt Berry and the Maypoles Live. 11 tracks on this. I think the price on Amazon, free postage for Prime members obviously, it was something around the £16.70-ish mark. I'm always happy to pay for a brand new sealed record for well under £20 that I want. Not an awful lot to say about this, as you can see. I've not listened to it yet. There we see Matt and the Maypoles. The Maypoles, of course, being his backing band for live gigs. Does it say where this was recorded? No. Doesn't matter. I just like live albums. Interestingly, there's Mark Morris there, who I was familiar with years ago, as he was the lead singer and guitarist in the Britpop era band, the Blue Tones. Of course, they had a brilliant single, Slight Return, that did really well. I remember buying that CD single. I think it was their debut single, or a very early one from them, and it like went straight in at number 3 or something, even though no one had really heard of the Blue Tones. Slight Return was just such a great Britpop single of the era. All the radio stations were playing it. Not really much else to say about Matt Berry and the Maypoles Live. Will you be seeing much more Matt Berry on the channel? Well, there is kind of 1 or 2 albums that are proving really difficult to source because on vinyl they were just made in such limited quantities, but you never know. I do keep checking, as I always do for anyone who I'm collecting a lot in. You may see more Matt Berry on the channel, and hopefully he'll release a new studio album, I don't know, whenever. Next year or the year after, whenever he wants to, really. As I'm a big fan of him, I will definitely be getting that. Right, we've got 2 mail openings to do now, but still 5 albums to show you, and some exciting stuff here that I'm really looking forward to showing you. I've just grabbed this first. This will be 3 albums from Aztec Records over on Bandcamp. And Aztec Records are a London-based synthwave label. I say synthwave, they also do synth pop and Italo disco. It all kind of blends into the same overarching genre, really. I discovered them a couple of months or so back when I bought Bunny X's debut album. They're a duo from New York, I think. A female duo. I discovered them when I was looking up Italo disco on Bandcamp. Young and in Love, I think that album was. But the reason I've got 3 albums here is because I got an email from Aztec saying that they'd started listing some of their albums as bundles so that you could save some money. And they had, I think, 4 different vinyl bundles on their Bandcamp page. And they sent this email out the same day that it was the Bandcamp Friday 20% discount. So a bundle that would normally have cost like 49-ish pounds ended up costing under 40. Well, probably a bit over 40, including postage. Oh yeah, and all these bundles come with either a sticker or a pin badge. Mine only came with a sticker. I probably preferred a pin badge. I didn't really care either way. That's the sticker for an artist who I will show you in a moment, because she is one of the artists, and the only artist in here that I'm actually familiar with already. So that's the sticker there. Another nice glossy flyer from Aztec. I think I got one of these when I bought the Bunny X album earlier this year. Let's chuck that out of the way for now. Extra cardboard, always nice to see. And rather handily, these albums aren't sealed either. They are brand new, but just obviously Aztec Records is a little sort of boutique, almost DIY operation. They don't really have any cellophane sealing facilities. They could probably find some somewhere, but it'd be extra money to spend. So why bother? Yeah, I'll show you this one first, because this was the artist who I was already familiar with, and I've been tempted to buy her album for a long time. And this is Law, or L-A-U, I'm not sure, I think it might be Law, or Lau, because her full name is Laura or Laura Ferres or something. She's an Argentinian synth-pop artist based in London, and she's actually the head and the founder of Aztec Records. This is her second album, Circumstance, and I have listened to a bit on this. Hopefully I'll be able to play you something in a little while off this album, which is an amazing cover version. I won't spoil the surprise for you, but I'll listen to that, and I was like, yeah, I've got to get this album one day. I'd just not got around to getting it until I was advised of this bundle. And the other bundles look great. I mean, I really could have spent like a couple of £100 really. Well, maybe 150, 160 quid. Although I think the Bunny X album I already had was included in one of those bundles. If I would have wound up with a spare copy of that at some point, I'd probably send it on to someone who might like it. So there's your sleeve for Circumstance by Lau or Law. Want to show you the disc though. Wow, I would say virgin on neon, maybe looking a little bit dull in this light, but whether it looks any brighter in editing, hopefully it will, but it does look great, certainly from the position I'm looking at it. This yellow vinyl record here. I'll put all these back properly later, just save me standing up here for ages, faffing around, putting things back in sleeves. So the next two albums, I've not listened to anything by these artists. All I know about them is they are artists on the Aztec Records roster, which is a roster that, I mean, I would collect pretty much everything on there if I could afford to. What I have heard is just so brilliant, just real good electro-pop, kind of mixtures of synthwave and Italo-disco, which are two of my favourite genres anyway. The first one I'll show you, just because it's sat there looking at me, is this album from Morrissey, Vinyl City. So I've not heard anything on here. I just thought, well, I'll get one of these bundles. I'm bound to enjoy plenty of what's on all three of these records. Comes in a white inner. Just give you a quick look at the back of the sleeve there. I think this is a solo artist. I'm just looking forward to discovering new synthwave, to be honest. And this disc looks cool as well. That was another contributing factor into me getting this bundle, was just that I knew I'd get three really nice looking discs all at once as well. But look at that, it's with a sort of, what would you say, purple and blue or pink and blue spatter. Amazing. There again, looks a bit dull to me as I'm looking at it sort of this way on. Fantastic, that. Absolutely gorgeous disc there from Morrissey, Vinyl City. And I've deliberately not streamed any music from this Morrissey artist or the next one I'm going to show you, because I just want to be completely surprised. I could have listened to the whole of these albums on Bandcamp even before I'd purchased them, and I thought, no, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy blind, as it were. And the final album in the bundle is from Thought Beings, and this is Neon Beach. Got a feeling this is going to be the least interesting disc, but it's still going to be a nice disc to look at here. Just love this sort of 80s Virgin on New Romantic aesthetic that's been used here. I think Thought Beings are a male and female duo, certainly the picture here would suggest so. I believe they're from somewhere in the United States, possibly California, but I couldn't swear to that. But once again, not heard anything at all on here. There we are, standard white, but I always like a white vinyl record. I always think they look really nice. Thought Beings with Neon Beach. I think for around £40, just over with the postage. 3 brand new records. One I know I'm definitely going to enjoy because I've heard a lot of it already. And 2 others that I think I'm 99% certain I'm going to love as well. So I think that's a nice little bundle from Bandcamp. And of course, we also got the Law or Lau sticker as well. That was the Bandcamp Synthwave bundle.
In a world full of people, you can lose sight of it all. And the darkness inside you make you feel so small. But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you so. Don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful like a rainbow.
And finally, we do have 2 more records to show you. I actually said earlier, didn't I, that it was 5 albums, and I just realised I was technically incorrect. It was 4 albums, a single, and an EP. So there's an album and an EP in here. Now these 2 are both pretty impulsive purchases. One in particular. The other one, I'd kind of been looking at it once or twice, but I just didn't feel compelled to buy it, and you'll know why I was looking at it when I show it you. This purchase, by the way, is from Relevant Records over in Cambridge. I've used them before, I think once or twice, and they always deliver stuff fast. Their postage rates are pretty reasonable, and the reason I decided to get these two albums on this particular day was because I got an email from them. They were starting their end of summer sale with up to 33% off a lot of their stock. So I had a look through all their sale items, and there was a few things that I thought I might take a punt on, but at the end I decided to stick with just two. So the first one, oh, it's even got the old price sticker and then a sale price sticker on. The first one, this is actually the EP that I forgot was an EP rather than a full-length album. And I'd looked at this once or twice, and I wasn't massively interested in buying it, but then when I saw it was in the sale, I thought, well, go on then, because it does kind of fit in a collection that I've been building up all year. This is a various artists compilation EP on Mute Records, where a bunch of Mute Records artists have covered the Normal's Warm Leatherette. And there we go, you can see a nice big Mute logo on the back there. As you can see, originally it was $16.99, at least at Relevant, but then down to $10.99. The main reason that this interested me was that the track 1 side A is by Lieback, and it's a Lieback cover of Warm Leatherette, or as they would say in German, Warme Lederhaut. I don't actually own that on any of my other Lieback records, so it kind of goes in the Lieback collection, even though it's Lieback and a bunch of other artists. Let's see if I can read the other covers of Warm Leatherette. Side A's Lieback, Chicks on Speed, and is that Nan or Non? Really could do my glasses. Non, N-O-N, I think. And then side double A, or side B, is Terence Fixmer and The Normal, who originally did Warm Leatherette. And The Normal is actually Daniel Miller, who founded Mute Records. Warm Leatherette and, it was a double A side with TVOD, I think, was the very first single, the very first release that ever came out on Mute Records in 1979. Whether this version of Warm Leatherette is a re-recording or a remix, or whether it's the original 1979 one from Daniel Miller, The Normal, I'm not sure. I'll only know really when I listen to it. So I was wondering whether I should get this open. Thing is, it looks like it started coming open already. It is new and sealed. This was a Love Record Store Day 2020 exclusive, by the way, and I seem to have picked up quite a few of those on my travels. There we are. It's classed as transparent brown, this, as in to look like leatherette, I suppose. To me, on screen now, as I'm looking at my phone, it does look sort of a bit browny, but from this angle it just kind of looks like a slightly dull orange, really. But technically this is a transparent brown disc. A little bit impulsive, but didn't pay an awful lot for it. $10.99 as it's on sale. Very happy.
Sieg das brechende Glas, durch Beton vergaß. Warme Leerhaut, warme Leerhaut, warme Leerhaut, warme Leerhaut. Hört den Bernsteinstahl auf ein letztes Mal. Hört den Bernsteinstahl auf ein letztes Mal. Warme Leerhaut, warme Leerhaut.
And finally, one more from Relevant Records, another coloured vinyl edition. This one does have the original price on it, but not the new sale price. It's very impulsive, this. I wasn't really planning on buying any more of his albums. The band he was in the 1980s, I would like to get some more of their albums, because I'm a bit of a fan, and to my shame I've only got one compilation so far. But because this was included in the Relevant end of summer sale, I thought I'd get California Sun by Morrissey on sky blue vinyl. And I didn't even realise until I started doing a bit of research in preparation for this video that this is actually a complete covers album, which intrigued me. Looking at it, there's not an actual load of stuff on here that I'd be familiar with. It's Morrissey, he's going to be covering a lot of sort of 1960s stuff that you have to be of a certain age to remember in the first place. I think this was a little bit more than $10.99, maybe $11 or $12.99, but still a good price. And I did pick up that other Morrissey album on Discogs a few months ago, and into Low in High Places, or I can't remember what it's called now, but I've got it. That was completely impulsive because I was buying something that I really wanted from a Discog seller, and that flashed up and it was like really cheap for a brand new LP, so I thought I'd get it. We've had a look at all the unusual and coloured discs today, so we might as well do the same for Mars here. It come out on his own record label, Etienne, apparently. Ooh, I like this inner. It shows his back catalogue. That's really nice, that. Lovely inner, this. Morrissey's a good one for this sort of nostalgic kind of 1960s aesthetic that he's been a fan of since the Smiths started. You know, Smiths record covers used to have people like Youtha Joyce on, and the lady who played Elsie Tanner on Coronation Street, Pat Phoenix, that's her, and other kind of, you know, slightly campy, kitsch 1960s kitchen sink drama type icons of the day. Presumably all of Morrissey's solo back catalogue there. Experience the remarkable sounds of Morrissey, the timeless voice of these hopeless times. Well, yeah, given Morrissey's political leanings the last few years, I'm not sure he's really qualified to comment on hopeless times, but never mind. But there we are, Sky Blue. Lovely disc. And I'm looking forward to listening to the album. As I say, it's the second Morrissey album I've got that I never really had any intention of even buying. I just thought, you know, as it's on sale, it's a covers album, which also intrigued me, rather than it being original or mostly original compositions. So, yeah, I just thought I'd take a punt on it, really. Morrissey, California Sun, on Sky Blue disc.
Oh, I was on your side, Bill, when you were losing. I'd never scheme or lie, Bill, there'd be no fooling. But kisses and love won't carry me till you marry me, Bill. I love you so, I always will. And in your voice I hear a choir of carousels. Oh, but am I ever gonna hear my wedding bells?
And there we are. That's your records roundup for today. Hope you enjoyed it. I want to say thank you for watching and give special thanks to my subscribers and my wonderful, amazing, generous patrons. Please see my Patreon link, Facebook group link, and one for contents insurance as well, all in the description text box. I'm going to go now. Loads to listen to. So what would you start with first? What wouldn't you be interested in here? As I know it's quite an eclectic and probably not to everyone's specific tastes bunch of records here, but that's the beauty of being an eclectic record and music collector. And I do hope that all of you will join me again next time for my next records roundup and record collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!